You might be thinking at this point, Jace, my area of addiction didn't really have to do with people or sexual reacting out or romantic encounters or anything like that. So, how do I define my sobriety, or do I even need to? Maybe you're coming from a background with substances or things that are seemingly more black and white. I want you to take this entire lesson anyway. And there are 3 reasons for that. One, most of us who have a background of trauma and addiction actually have unhealthy ideas and relationships with regard to others, and intimacy and sexual activity and relationships and boundaries and things like that. So you'll likely learn something anyway. I haven't met anyone yet who has the background like we do who doesn't also have some sticky stuff in the sexual realm. So explore a little bit there, even if that's not been your main area of reacting out. Secondly, sobriety isn't that black and white. We know, especially from having taken the What is Addiction Really lesson, that addiction doesn't really have to do with that which we are consuming. There's that physical component to it, yes, but that's not really what addiction is. It's attempting to meet appropriate needs in inappropriate ways. Usually there's an escape or a medicating component to it, a self-soothing component to it, and we each gravitate towards different things for different reasons, and certain things stick and some things don't. That's just unique to each of us, right? You get to explore that here in this lesson. And just putting it in the on or off category, black or white, as we have in traditional recovery, especially when it comes to things like substances or gambling or things like that. Let's look at it more holistically and in a broader sense. In this lesson, you're also going to learn about what is getting you to that point of reacting out. It's reacting out for all of us, even if our reacting out behavior is consuming alcohol or consuming drugs or gambling or shopping or debt or work or working out or the myriad of things that play into the reward system and the limbic system. So dig deeper. Just putting sobriety for me is not using alcohol is not going to cut it in the long term, especially not for self-mastery. So I want you to get deeper in there. And the circles like we're going to talk about here, which is a standard practice that comes from OA and SAA, as well as practitioners in those areas, they work for all areas of addiction because we're talking about the reacting out behavior, of which most of us have several, and they might span different areas of addiction. Of course, we're recognizing addiction as one thing, the misfunction of the brain and body. And we have things that lead us there, which we're going to cover in our field work and in the lesson. And we have things that keep us very much away from there. So that doesn't change for any of us. Now, my background, of course, the main area for me was sexual reacting out, and many of the people taking this program are in that category too. But I've not met a single person who only struggles with one area of addiction. I haven't met a single person who only has one go-to reacting out method and they never do anything else. We kind of muddy it all and blend it together. And some things are really good buddies, like alcohol and sexual reacting out were like really best buddies in my world back in active addiction. So explore this, stay curious, stay open-minded, open-hearted about it as well, and see if you can't start exploring that behavior, that reacting out behavior on a deeper level using these 3 circles. Now you'll notice in the field work, we're not talking about sexual behavior specifically. We are looking at those deeper levels on the what, the why, and the how the heck can we not do that. So yes, take this lesson. Yes, this content is available for you and to you as well. Yes, the fieldwork is relevant for you. And if you have been walking a path of recovery, then the assignment variation is also relevant to you as well, because it's taking that self-mastery approach to all of this, where traditional recovery doesn't look at it that way. So let's not focus too much on stopping the symptom, which would be our using, and getting into the actual core issues beneath that so we can be free of it. I hope that answers your question. If you do find that there's any struggle in doing this lesson because it doesn't speak to you, then hit us up at the email address below so that we can make adjustments to make sure we're serving as many people as possible and making this valuable and accessible for everyone.